Hola, soy Armando Pascual, director de Art City, tu sueño hecho realidad, y seguimos con los videos de Mika. Este va a ser la parte 1 de un drag queen, así es que no te lo pierdas, es uno de los videos que más nos han pedido. Thank you, Mika, for being here, and vamos a empezar. En un segundo les presentamos a nuestro modelo. Gracias. Pues ya estamos aquí listos para empezar, pero primero quiero presentarte a nuestro modelo, que es Alexis. Cuéntanos, Alexis, ¿a qué te dedicas? Sé que eres bailarín, pero platícanos un poquito.
Claro que sí, mi nombre es Alexis, soy profesional en educación dancística, con especialidad en danza folclórica.
Excelente, o sea que no solamente bailas, sino que eres profesor aparte también.
También, así es.
¿Dónde das clases, Alexis?
Estoy en un grupo de danza folclórica.
Maravilloso. Bien, pues te vamos a dejar abajo el link por si te interesa, incluso ir a ver a Alexis o para tomar estas clases, para que no te lo pierdas, lo dejamos ahí abajo de la descripción. Y vamos a empezar con este extraordinario maquillaje que nos va a hacer Mika, que ya después de las experiencias que tuvimos en los pasados videos, sabemos que esto va a estar espectacular y que es uno de los videos que más nos ha solicitado. Mika, ready.
All right, so let's start with the drag makeup. First thing you want to do is get rid of the eyebrows, if you have one. Sometimes drag artists tend to shave them off, but if you have eyebrows, there are different techniques to smooth them out, to make them, flat onto the face, so you can draw a more eccentric eyebrow on. Okay, so first I'm gonna take just a spoolie, and I need to see in which way the hair lays the most flat. For some people it's up, for some people it's down. So I'm just seeing how I can brush the hair on to make it as flat and smooth as possible. And for him, in the upper part, like this, it's up, but here it's down. So I have both directions.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take spirit gum. And what you wanna do is take this and brush it against the growth of the hair.
Okay.
So that pretty much the skin underneath is covered and also the hair is covered. Like that.
Si recordarán, si es que han seguido nuestros videos, tengo uno en donde justamente hago un efecto y es bien importante el hecho de que el pegamento esté entre el pelo. De otra manera nos está causando problema, o más bien que problema es que no se pegue entre ellos, y aquí Mika justamente está haciendo eso.
And then you brush the product through with a disposable spoolie. And then you just take the end and you flatten the hair into the skin like this. You can also pull the skin a little bit and really press down, and with spirit gum, the more you touch it, the less tacky it will become. So you can add another layer if necessary. I'm gonna do just that. And a little bit of texture is still fine because I'm gonna add a lot of glitter, which can hide texture anyway. So if you have very strong, thick eyebrow hair and you don't want to shave it, you can work with glitter and rhinestones to hide the texture.
Okay.
Because with drag, more is more.
Okay.
Just gonna brush and roll. And I'm pressing kind of hard. Be careful around the eye area. You don't want to irritate the eye. And then I can press it in with my finger as well, also to feel if it's still tacky somewhere or not. A little bit more. You can add a little bit of wax to the eyebrow, but the problem is wax over time will melt.
Of course.
So I prefer not to use any wax at all.
Okay.
Because for performers, most of the time wax will not stay put. especially if your eyebrows are a little bit, you know, closer to your eyelids. You have a lot of movement there, and wax only works on places where you have bone underneath, where you don't have a lot of movement. So in this case, especially, I think wax will not be a good product to use.
Nuevamente nos observamos cómo el uso de los productos y su conocimiento es importantísimo, porque aquí nos acaba de dar un tip muy importante, que la cera, como ya lo hemos dicho anteriormente, pues es un producto delicado y funciona muy bien en aquellas partes que están rígidas o que en determinado momento no se mueven. Si tú vas a poner una cera muy cercana del párpado, vas a tener problemas, y Mika en este caso, debido a todos los productos que va a usar posteriormente, está prefiriendo no usar la cera para no tener problemas posteriores.
Okay, so for extreme cases, if you have to perform and you tend to sweat a lot, you can use prostate instead of mastics. Just make sure that you have the remover with you, otherwise you will not be able to get it off.
Sí, definitivamente.
So that's the most important thing. Also with the spirit gum, have the spirit gum remover to, you know, be able to remove it easier.
Of course.
Okay, we're gonna do the same, of course, to the other brow in a second. Just flatten everything down as much as possible. This. Okay, other side. Again, brush it through. Make sure you cover the skin underneath as well as all of the hair. So it can go a little crazy. Take your spoolie, brush the hair in the direction where it lays flat. This. And then take the end of the brush and really flatten it down. Just roll it onto the skin and try to make it as smooth as possible. And then just take your finger and again press it in. Feel if it's still tacky somewhere. You can also feel the texture with your fingers. And if needed, add a little more and repeat until you're satisfied. Until all the hair is flat against the skin. Or as flat as it can be. Again, brush. 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 This will activate the tackiness of the glue. And roll.
Recordemos que el mastic tiene de repente un poquito justamente de retardo para empezar a secar, pero justamente lo que ella hace de peinar, de pasar el cepillito ahí encima, lo que sucede es que estás precisamente acelerando el proceso del secado de mastic.
Okay, and then I tend to look at it from the side because then you can see if there's still a hair sticking out. Looks good to me.
This side too.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you have a little bit too much mastics, you know, around the forehead or into the eye, just take a little bit of remover and remove the excess to have a nice base.
Sí, se tiene que tener cuidado con no pasarte en el área con el mastic, porque eso sí sucede cuando de repente estás poniendo el maquillaje posteriormente encima del área donde pusiste el mastic. Puede haber demasiada textura o te lo puedes traer, es un poquito difícil, por lo tanto sí, es mejor hacer eso.
Okay, so the next thing we have to consider is the beard. So most of the time if you have dark hair you will see that 5 o'clock shadow, which we need to cover and color correct. Also if you have dark eyebrows, this will show up. So what I use to color correct is Dermacolor. You could also use the TV paint stick or depending the foundation you're working with. But the Dermacolor, again, because it has so much coverage, it is a product that doesn't slide around too much. And you have these nice correcting color.
Yes.
This is a great product to color correct these bluish tones that will come through. So I'm taking a little bit of the D32 and the D30, which is the reddish tone and the orange tone. And depending on the undertone of your skin, you will have more orange or more red. So you can test this first if you're not sure. I can see with him, he is more on the warm side, but still some redness, some warm tones, so I'm gonna mix. The next thing that is very important is that these tones, they're not supposed to be darker than your skin. So if you're, for example, as light as me, these colors are already much darker than my actual skin tone. So what you can do is you can take a little bit of the brighter skin tone colors and adjust the brightness.
Okay.
Which I will do in this case also.
Bien, además recordemos nuestro círculo cromático, que es justamente lo que está enfrente de los colores verdosos y precisamente son los naranjas o rojizos, lo que va a ayudar a todavía cubrir más. Pero el toque o el detalle adicional que está agregando Mika es el punto de subir o bajar el tono dependiendo de la piel de la persona, no solamente pensando en bloquear el color de la barba, sino en incrementar o más bien agregar el tono piel más cercano también al de la persona. Entonces está haciendo un doble juego al mismo tiempo.
And sometimes it can also help to make that color a little lighter since you want to color correct the darkness. So a little lighter is always better than too dark in this case. Because you will just accentuate the shadow if you're putting a darker color on top. So I'm having more like a peach tone. It's very similar to his actual skin tone, but with a little bit more orange and red in it. And this will be enough to color correct.
Exactly. And it's perfect for the beard.
Exactly.
This is usually is green or blue.
Yes. So I'm just taking a foundation brush. I'm putting it everywhere where I see that darker color coming through. And you can already see this neutralizes pretty well. So sometimes if you choose the right color and the right tone, you don't even need a base. Still with drag, more is more, and we're going to do a lot of shading and contouring, so there's going to be something on top as well.
Of course.
But sometimes a tone like this can help you hide the shadow of the beard. And also push it in because with the beard we have a lot of texture in the skin.
Obviamente muchos chicos que se dedican ya directamente al maquillaje de drag queen ya en ocasiones tienen una depilación profunda para evitar este tipo de problemas, pero una de las razones por las que le pedimos a Alexis justamente y que lo escogimos para que viniera a ayudarnos a hacer de modelo es justamente su barba, que es lo que nos iba a motivar a que vieras que sí se puede y que no es truco de cámara o cualquier cosa.
Sometimes with drag you even want to change the skin tone slightly to make it more fair, more dark, tanned, whatever. Because with drag we can get away with anything. Just remember that you also have to color the neck and the ears in this case. So I need a little bit more color, so I'm just mixing it. And if you do this a lot, you won't struggle with mixing colors too much. So again, pushing it in. You can also use a sponge if you like, but a brush usually doesn't soak up as much product as a sponge. So you lose less product. You get much more out of your creams and foundations if you use a brush like that instead of a sponge. Don't forget the neck.
De repente también tiene zonas que son verdaderamente muy escabrosas en el sentido de la textura, y ahí es donde podemos a veces llegar a usar incluso el dedo para como profundizar un poco más.
Okay, so you can already tell that the bluish undertone is gone.
Okay, yes.
So I'm gonna do the same to the eyebrows.
Okay.
Be careful.
The same color.
A little bit lighter maybe.
Okay, because it's more darker. Okay.
Exactly. So I'm just gonna mix in a little bit of a more pinkish bright tone.
Uh-huh.
And be careful with this. If you, for example, use Supra Color or Vita Color, these contain a lot of oils which can loosen up the mastics again.
Mastic.
So don't use concealers or foundations on this area that have too much oil, because you can, you know, interfere with your work. Yeah, so that's again why you use Derma Color, because it contains more wax, more pigment and less oil.
Perfect.
So this I'm just gonna also stipple on, because you don't want to, you know, drag it along the hair. And you can really push the product like this in between
the hair.
Of course, you will still see a little bit of texture since we didn't add any wax or something like this. But then again, glitter, or, you know, just if you shade on this part a lot, you can hide it with this as well. So you don't have to make it perfect, actually. Because this can take a lot of time.
Yes.
Right, same on the other side. Push the product in. And sometimes if you struggle with painting new eyebrows, what you can do is already trying out shapes to have your brow bone. So you see, this would be my highlight, something like this, because this is still adjustable, so you can see where the new brow will be.
Of course.
Helps with symmetry as well, because with the creams you still can adjust it a lot and change it and also the things.
Obviamente aquí, como lo menciona Mika, se puede ir aprovechando justamente cuando ya tienes en mente o incluso tienes el diseño, que es muy importante tener en muchas ocasiones el diseño, ya sea para una obra de teatro, para una presentación en particular en donde se va a seguir un diseño muy específico siempre, pues ya incluso con el maquillaje que estás usando ahí puedes usarlo de base para tus propias sombras.
So I'm gonna do a higher brow like this, but I think I'm gonna put it a little bit lower.
Okay.
And this is really a great way to play around and to see and play with your shapes, because not every face, you know, not every brow works for the same face.
Of course.
So this way you can see before you actually put anything on where your brow is going to be. So I'm just taking a Q-tip. I'm gonna remove a little bit of the cream and try to find the right shape that would suit him. A little lower. Sometimes you can even start with the natural brow and leave some hair there and then just move it up. This will also help with expressions, because your muscles are here and not on the forehead. So your eyebrows on the forehead will just move up and down, but not, you know.
Exactly. You
have less expression if you put the eyebrows somewhere else. So sometimes it helps to keep that part where it belongs and just lift the end.
Sí, justamente no es el punto de las pestañas como de Gordolfo Gelatino, donde precisamente partían de un punto en el que se movía de arriba para abajo, pero no había verdaderamente una expresión. Aquí una de las cosas principales que tienen estos personajes es el punto de expresión, y que si arrancamos de donde verdaderamente se mueve la ceja es muchísimo mejor. Entonces empiezas a ver cómo ya todo el maquillaje empieza desde un punto a cobrar sentido, o más bien tú le estás dando el sentido y vas pensando cómo estás haciéndolo todo poco a poco.
Also blend the harsh edges out. Here you don't have to, because that's going to be the brow. Because next step I will add a little bit of powder to set this in place. You don't have to go crazy with it, but a little bit just to seal it in. I'm using TL powder. And here again, you can push the eyebrows in again and flatten them a little bit.
Es una cantidad generosa de polvo. Aquí está usando prácticamente el polvo normal de KRYOLAN, no estamos hablando del de Derma. Está usando el polvo normal en una buena cantidad. Recordemos, maquillajes base crema necesitan ser sellados con polvo, algo importante de considerar. Y en este sentido, ahora sí, no es como en los otros maquillajes que vimos. Aquí sí queremos que estas capas estén completamente selladas y no se muevan porque nos están bloqueando un color en particular muy fuerte que es la barba y las cejas.
For this part, don't use the Derma fixing powder because it's very hard to color on top of it because it will seal the surface layer. So TL powder, anti-shine powder, something like this works better than the fixing powder in this case. You can use the fixing powder as your very last powder, but in between, if you plan on doing a lot of color on top, I would use TL in this case.
Nuevamente vemos como el TL1, que es para mí es el polvo indispensable que debe ser usado en todos los maquillajes que los maquillistas deben de tener en su estuche. Podrían faltar muchos otros, pero el TL1 no, porque es el que prácticamente va a aplicar para todo, excepto aquellas pieles muy oscuras en donde ya sí el TL1 podría ser un poquito problema. Ya estás hablando de que puedes usar TL5, TL6 o un poquito más oscuros.
So really press the powder in. And of course also a little bit on the beard. So you should have the bigger version, because if you're doing a lot of drag, you will run out of the powder very fast.
Sí, tenemos versiones muy diversas de polvos en tamaños, obviamente. Aquí incluso ahorita, ya que lo menciona Mika, mientras lo está haciendo, podemos presentarte en pantalla las diferentes versiones que tenemos del del artículo 5700, si no me estoy equivocando, en el TL1, y vas a ver el chico, el mediano y el jumbo, que obviamente en los productos de KRYOLAN, mientras más grande compres, más barato te sale.
And mine is almost finished, so I have to work hard.
Exactamente. Yo tengo aquí más, no te preocupes, Mika.
Okay, so eyebrows gone, beard gone. Let's move on to foundation.
Exactly.
So for foundation, I'm going to use the TV paint sticks, since they also will give me a lot of coverage. They tend to be more on the matte side, so you don't have to bother, with a lot of shine and sweatiness, because these were actually meant for theater and TV for performers. So high coverage, mattified, and also very easy to use on yourself.
Exactly.
So for drag, you pretty much need 3 colors. You need a bright tone for highlight, you need the skin tone, and you need a tone to contour. For example, this one or even a darker one.
More dark.
So 3 colors
is enough.
And with the blending and the mixing of the colors, you will be able to create a nice contoured face.
Bueno, pues entonces vamos a regresar en un momento, o mejor dicho, vamos a ir a nuestra parte final del video, porque no queremos hacerlos tan extremadamente largos para que no te nos aburras. Por lo tanto, hasta aquí llegamos con este video. No te pierdas la secuencia en donde ya va a aplicar ahora las siguientes bases, como ya te explicó. Y recuerda que abajo está el link para que vayas viendo todos los productos. Y si el maquillaje es tu pasión, Articity es la solución, y nos vemos en el siguiente video. No te lo pierdas.
Maquillaje como en Hollywood, que es la fuente de la juventud. Como estrella tú serás, bellísima y sensual. Articity 35476-400. Llámanos ya.